Hey, I'm back. So yeah, this channel's kind of going to be a dumping ground for stuff that used to be on the Control Chaos channel and isn't anymore. Um, there's no need for a like, comment, a sub, or anything like that. Um, I definitely do enjoy doing these vlog style videos, even if we've kind of pivoted away from them over on the main channel. So I decided to take it upon myself to bring them over here and give kind of a face back to the main channel. Obviously, I'll post in like the community over there and on our Discord server. But I'm doing this one mainly to touch on my hiatus and why I took it and basically what I learned on it. Um, and the reason being is I saw comments in recent videos like, who's this third guy? I'm David. I used to go by Azazel on the channel in the comments and used to do the Promised Neverland discussion, host the podcasts. I'm the co-founder of the channel and run the social media now. I also, obviously, I'm in the Chainsaw Man discussion, a few other series that aren't on right now, like the Ruby Talks, various gaming related things that we do occasionally, stuff like that. But I really, there's three purposes to this video. One is kind of like the state of the main channel, one is the hiatus, and then obviously the other one is basically more of a personal side. I'm going to start with the hiatus and what I learned during it and just flop around as I go. But the hiatus for me was talked about in a few videos, one being burnout. But burnout for me was a little bit of that stereotypical, like, I'm trying to balance too many aspects of my life. Oh, I was trying to balance this personal aspect, I was trying to balance this work, and I was trying to balance the content creation. The way YouTube works, though, is that content creation overtakes those others. And to me, I wasn't liking not having a personal life. I wasn't liking letting work suffer. I wasn't liking letting my friendships, my relationships with people that I deemed super close to me, fall by the wayside because I'm having to make this video. I'm having to do this. I'm having to do that. And the downside to being a functioning adult is you don't really have a lot of time to balance all of that shit because everybody's schedule is fucking different. For me, I was working swing shifts for I didn't know what fucking days of the week I was working. I didn't know what fucking what hours I was working or if I was working at all really at some point. So like for example, when I left Reds, I was getting anywhere from 20 to 32 hours. So I had plenty of time, right? I had plenty of time to balance all that shit. And then when I left Reds, because I wasn't making enough money to really pay shit, I ended up getting 40 to 52 hours. So I had no fucking free time. And I was still trying to make videos every fucking day. So you can see where that burnout would come from. I'm having to... There was times where during the Promised Neverland discussions, I'm like, I have to end this video because I have to go to fucking work. And that... Nearing the end, I was so burnt out on that fucking series. I was putting about 5% effort into every video. Because I wasn't enjoying reading that series and creating content out of it. Because every video slowly became me restating the same 5 points about why I don't like the fucking series anymore. To the point where commenters were like, just drop it, just drop it. I'm like, yeah, let's just drop it. Let's just fucking drop it because I'm not enjoying this shit. I'm saying the same thing every fucking week. And that was probably the most frustrated I ever was with fucking YouTube because I honestly, there was a point where that was one of my favorite fucking series, right? And now I couldn't recommend it to a fucking child, really. Because of how it's still, I've mentioned that I'm still reading it, watching its shambling corpse basically try to make one last good fucking chapter, and it can't even do that. So I'm definitely at that point where it will probably never come back as a full series unless it becomes God's fucking jizz, essentially. Uh, and that's disgusting, and that's what makes Control Chaos unique. Uh, but I'm serious. Like that series is going to have to make like the biggest 360 or biggest 180 ever because I literally, literally cannot fucking stand where they're at right now. It's like, how can we be edgy and cool? And yeah, but I was putting 5% effort into that because one, I was rushing to get out of the video. I call it the Ray Narvaez method, and Achievement Hunter fans will get that. And basically, I was tanking the video, and I felt bad really because it seriously, you want to make content compelling. You want to make content, sound good, look good, feel good. You want the chemistry to be there. There was no fucking chemistry really, aside from two people shitting on the series. Um, and there's no real no real fucking reason to continue it. So we dropped it. And then it was more of like, where's my place on this channel now? And slowly and slowly and slowly, it's like, well, I got Ruby, right? And then once Ruby's gone, where do I stand? Well, I think I want to take time off. I want to sit back. I want to relax. I want to fucking find, my place on this fucking channel again, or if I still even really have a place on YouTube or social media in general. And I wanted to focus on, taking care of my friendships, my relationships, my work. I wanted to do all that. And that was probably the best decision for me, because I was able to rekindle some relationships, patch up friendships, try and deal with a lot of stuff that was creating personal drama behind the scenes that I, kind of created by neglecting shit. And I felt bad neglecting that, but at the same time, the way my brain has always worked is it will hyper focus on one fucking thing at a time. And because of how YouTube functions, I would hyper focus on, like I said, the content creation aspect. So I'm trying to regulate that side of things, and I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, what about this person? What about this person? What about this person that's been trying to reach out to you? What about this person that's trying to, do things? And obviously some bridges need to be burned, because you're not comfortable being around that person. You're not comfortable being around some of those people that are still trying to reach out to you to this day. And some parts of life you want to just let die to the point where some people will obviously meet my block list because I don't want to speak to them. Because parts of your life you definitely want to leave in the past. But also there's parts of your life that you want to keep. There's parts of life that you want to, no matter what, you want to have that person in your fucking life. And I've got what I call my circle of friends, and those 5 or 6 people that I keep really, really close mean the fucking world to me, to the point to where I have literally dropped what I'm doing to make sure they're okay, make sure they're doing the best that they can, make sure they're able to continue on their path, make sure they're able to do whatever they need to fucking do. And I obviously don't want to name names. I don't want to fucking bring any individual into this, but those 5 or 6 people that I keep super, super close, I would fucking die for. And honestly, I was letting those 5 or 6 people down the entire time I was hyper focusing on this fucking channel. So taking time off and reconnecting and taking care of those friendships was super, super important to me. And that's why I'm glad that, thanks to how YouTube functions, I'm glad that Thurman and Reb are still here holding down the fucking fort. Because without that, we wouldn't have hit that virality. We wouldn't have had any of that success that we're seeing now. We probably would have been back down to non-existent status on YouTube. So I am super thankful to those two for always holding down this fucking channel while I'm gone. And that is probably the truest fucking thing that I could say, is that they will always, always, always hold this fucking channel down. To the point where that's why I've essentially let Red take my spot as organizing, creating, and managing all the shit that goes into this fucking channel, because he will always be in more fucking videos than me. This, to me, right now, like I said, I'm in the Ruby talks. I'm in, when we bring back Chaos Gaming or the podcast, when we bring the Twitch up. And then, obviously, I'm in Chainsaw Man discussions. That is me. Red and Thurman, they're in 3 different fucking manga discussions. They're in fucking almost every long form video. The chaos battles and whatever else they choose to fucking do. It makes more sense for Red to be that hub than me at this point. Because, honestly, if I'm not in a video, I don't know what to title it. I don't know how to fucking make a description of it. I don't know how to fucking do shit for it. At the most, I'm in 3 series at any time, because one of them always rotates the fuck out. So, yeah. So, when I took the hiatus and focused on that, I learned that I honestly cannot always do things the way I want to do them. When I mentioned Chaos Gaming, that was a series that Justin and I were in, and I think Chris and Thurman and fucking Red was in one, I think, before we even named it the Chaos Gaming. There was maybe 5, 6 videos under the Chaos Gaming name. And then the rest were like back when Chris and I would play fucking Overwatch together, or, do bullshit like that. But I digress there. I wanted to bring that series back full force, but the way I wanted to do it was capture game footage. No. I learned that one the hard way. One episode was based around Battle Royale. I was, capturing key features in each Battle Royale game, like PUBG, with its fucking vehicles, Blackout, with, how it's kind of taking Call of Duty into shit. I was doing fucking Apex Legends with their ping system that got copied by Fortnite, and their respawn system was copied by Fortnite. Fortnite, I got the building system, and the whole fucking point of it was how Battle Royale's kind of here to stay, but, certain ones will always fucking die out. Like Apex Legends is dying out real quick because Fortnite stole its most popular features. And it continues to be relevant by updating every fucking week, sometimes multiple times a week. And I fucking hate Fortnite. Apex Legends has had maybe 5 updates since it came out. Added 1 new character and 1 new weapon. And I'm no fan of Battle Royale by any stretch of the means, but I understand that a trend will always exist. For a while, it was like your Horde mode or your Firefight modes. There was a time where fucking TDM was that trend, and then TDM became a fucking staple. It's just shit like that will always exist in gaming. So I see, that it's this generation's fucking, trend. Obviously, a lot of people hate it like me. It's the new thing to hate. I wasn't really a fan of Horde mode for a while, and I understood it. Zombies was another trend. Fucking zombies burn itself out. Fucking Battle Royale's burning itself out. Now, you remember fucking Battlefield 5 had a fucking Battle Royale? That didn't come out until, like, a month ago, and it was promised at launch. Yeah, exactly. So that was the kind of shit I was talking about in one. I had RPG-centered one. I had, others that were various topics. One was specifically about the backlash for fucking Assassin's Creed Odyssey's DLC. So yeah, I had a bunch of shit planned out, like 5, 6 episodes of that shit. But capturing the footage for it, editing it, and doing it that way was, slowly killing me. I overworked myself trying to capture key moments and dub over it with commentary. So I chose not to do that. I'm choosing to, kind of do the avatar background when I bring it back and stuff like that. That makes it a lot easier. It's a lot less, to me at least, it's a lot less meaningful without the footage. But the discussion is the key point that keeps people coming to our channel. That discussion is the most important fucking thing. That's why, a lot of people, this podcast format is what we've kind of dubbed it as. This played in the background, and listen to it. There's no video necessary. There's no need for, any flashy edits for that kind of shit. And then when we do an edited video, it's all the more meaningful. Like with Red's Hisoka video, or the one he's doing on the Shadow Beast, stuff like that. Because he's fucking godly with editing. I fucking suck at editing. The shit I can do with editing is basically a few keyframes and just the bare minimum. So yeah, I'm by no stretch of the means attempting to learn how to edit better, because it's Red's baby for that kind of shit. For the kind of videos I want to do really can be static. Slap an outro on, boom, done. So yeah, there's that. Obviously, the Know My Things Better is another one that we would love to bring back. Because it's just so fucking absurd. Like I said, the podcast will come back as like a Twitch stream sometime when we have a more consistent audience to pull into that. But there's other things I learned is the one that really baffled me, and this is one that a lot of YouTubers have tried to figure out. I keep mentioning that consistency is key. And consistency is key because of how the algorithm works. The more you are consistent, the more you feed into it, the bigger your potential for a viral video blows up. And the more you end up with a literal shit ton of subs. We went from under 300 to 2.2k in about a week because of one video. And that's why I keep saying consistency is key. The algorithm likes to feed those that upload regularly to a more meaningful fucking number. So you see a lot of YouTubers take hiatuses and their views tank. That's why. Because once they stop uploading, they don't feed as well. They do not sit into that fucking, well, you took 3 months off because you had a kid, so fuck you. Or you took, a month off because you had a mental breakdown. Well, guess what? YouTube don't give a shit. That's literally what it's like. And it's disturbing as fuck that that's the mentality that YouTube's AI has, but I understand the necessity to have this essential bot fucking do everything, because there's no way human beings could view every fucking minute of footage that's uploaded to the site daily. There's tens of thousands of fucking hours of video uploaded to YouTube every fucking day. There's no way human beings could watch that much content without killing themselves from exhaustion. In fact, there's a vast likelihood that if every employee in fucking YouTube watched a single video, it's still not fucking watch them all. And they'd have to be moderated. They have to be fucking fed. They have to, like, oh, this one here says fuck 756 times, so you don't get ads because Coca-Cola won't like that. Or this one here is a review of a dildo. You're getting age-gated. And yeah, I've seen actual fucking dildo videos in my recommended for the last week and a half, and I have not stopped laughing my ass off. Not a single one is not age-gated, though. So it's fucking funny that they say they don't allow sexual content onto YouTube. I see Switch games, a fucking pinball game that is literal titty game pinball in my recommended. So yeah, it's bullshit that they don't allow that in there. And that one was not age-gated at all. But I digress. Yeah, that's why a lot of people that take hiatuses from fucking YouTube just fall by the wayside, view-wise. I mean, even Tobuscus did. It's fucking bizarre, but Um, yeah, that's how the fucking bot works. So I get it from an IT professional's perspective though that has to exist. But that one has always fascinated me, how that works. There was a time where I thought I had figured it out, and it's just this group of tags here is perfect for our manga reviews. Went from fucking hundreds of views one week to no views the next. So I did not have it figured out. There was no figuring out the bot. There was no figuring out that algorithm of how it fucking works whatsoever. YouTubers have tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to figure it out, and they never will. But the biggest one that we do know is the more consistent you are, the more you feed properly. But the other reason I took off from YouTube and social media for a while, and then I came back, and then I took time off, and I honestly exist on social media at this point just to shitpost and just to enjoy myself with sharing various articles. I don't really interact a lot on Facebook. I'll argue with idiots occasionally. I'll fucking post a shitposty meme and then I'll deactivate my account. Um, Instagram I keep usually because I don't really give enough of a fuck about it. And Twitter, I run the Control Chaos Twitter, and then I retweet shit on my personal. But I logged into Snapchat because I started getting random people adding me, and they were all bot accounts. So I'm like, well, fuck that, delete. But I took this time off because I wanted to focus on my personal health. If you followed the channel for any great period of time, you know I'm famous for essentially existing to drink. I would constantly, and when I lived with Red, like the famous David.exe has stopped working. I was so fucking drunk I couldn't stop laughing. And I honestly, I got to the point where I'm like, I really don't need to exist completely drunk all the time, basically. I lost roughly 100 pounds since late last year, early this year. I learned my tolerance wasn't as good. But I honestly, since mid-March, I've drank maybe 3 days out of that entire time. Once at the theater when I saw a double feature, and then twice while I've been at home. The once I was at the theater, I had a rum punch, one of my famous drinks, and I could barely walk by the time I was done with it. Yeah, so I have a shit tolerance now. Now this is compared to January, when I was probably at my worst lately, and I would dump, oh yeah, I had up here, about a quarter of this bottle of rum. This is just the one that's been sitting on my bar for since March. I mean, I even have a date that I opened the bottle on it. Because that's something I did for a while. I would literally date how quickly I ran out of alcohol near the end. I dump a quarter of this bottle into a fucking bottle of juice, be it mango or pineapple, because those are my two favorites. And I would mix grenadine in it and make a sister's punch. And I would drink that before I went to work. Because I hated one person I worked with so much because of their racist attitude and personality that I literally would rather sit in a state of intoxication than have to even talk to them. Yeah. That's something I definitely can't stand. I can't stand racist people. And that's coming from a person that has two Southern parents. So yeah. I would dump that in there. I would drink technically I would have to drink the first glass of it and then pour the quarter of a bottle of rum into it and then drink that. But yeah, I would drink that before I went to work, usually on the ride there. Yeah. So for the last basically month and a half, I've been readjusting to what I call sober life. For the first time that I've been this sober since I was about 18. So about 10 years. I've lived in a state of pretty much perma-drunk. And I sometimes, as I go through my day, wonder how the fuck I functioned being in that state of pretty much constant intoxication. I've talked about, in the past that when I was a teenager, I'd be completely high on various substances and shit. And I talked about how when I was younger, I don't know how I wasn't fucking dead by now. I mentioned that in the Vic Mignogna video. Still one of my biggest regrets. But yeah, that's kind of where I was at for last month and a half. Just trying to, one, sober up, and two, just enjoy sober life, be independent. And there's not a time that I'm going to completely cut alcohol out of my life. I enjoy drinking socially, but I'm never going to let it get to the point where I'm drinking a fucking half gallon of mixed drink before I go to work again. And I honestly am shocked that I didn't get fired for showing up drunk. But that's not why I lost my fucking job. But I lost my job because retail has very, very bizarre rules that I will never fully understand for some companies. And that's where I'm going to leave that. Out of respect for my former employer and just for the fact that I've got this on the internet. I really just, for the first time since I was 18, just enjoying, the sober bliss, really. And just fucking, the last week I've spent just taking a lift to and from various places, like popping up at my friend's work, surprising them, just going to shopping at Hot Topic, or just going to fucking just out just to experience life and experience it sober. I call it the Jeff effect. Another Achievement Hunter reference, but just the fact that I've seen it through these tainted glasses for 10 fucking years really is just so fucking weird, that there's so much beauty in the fucking world that you don't really notice when you're completely fucking shit-faced all the time. And the sad part is, I don't think people noticed how drunk I was all the time, and that's not something I really enjoy admitting. But now that people are seeing me, fully fucking sober again, some of them for the first time since fucking high school, it's really weird to go through this, like, wow, I was a fucking mess, and now I'm not. I have other reasons why I've chosen to be more sober, other than, just wanting to be, but that's really the biggest one. I got tired of, one, spending upwards of $100 on alcohol every fucking week, really. Every fucking time I got a paycheck, I'm like, well, I need rum, I need vodka, I need tequila. Boom. There's half my fucking paycheck. Oh shit, I also need mixers. Well, I got a dash button for fucking grenadine. Yeah, I reached that point in my life. I also have a dash button for sweet and sour. I also have a fucking dash button for fucking the fucking mixers for the Blue Line drink that I had at a Gorillaz concert that I fucking loved. I honestly was shocked that I could end up with a fucking dash button for so many fucking things related to alcohol, but yeah, I did. I went from being known as the guy that had a dash button for condoms to that. To the point where I would rather play up the fucking that I had a dash button for condoms and I had a dash button for alcohol related content. Yeah. But now I'm going through and just enjoying this fucking bliss of sobriety that I'm just like, I'm honestly glad to have made it as far as I did. There was a time where in my life that I didn't think I'd make it to 21. And I've almost made it to 30 at this point. And with everything that I've been through for the last year and a half, the healthier I am, the better off I am. So that's the state I'm at right now. And mentally, I'm still not the best. I'm still definitely struggling with anxiety and depression, and I always will. But I'm just so fucking glad that I'm here making content again and have this outlet to, one, connect with this community that we've built as Control Chaos, and two, to be completely honest with people. To an extent, there will always be parts of my life that I would rather not put into YouTube. There will always be parts of my life that I will always rather have a private aspect versus having everything out there in the open. There's always going to be stories that will never be told on fucking video. There will always be stories that will, exist solely for my personal friends, my personal, my actual people that I know. It's nothing against the community. It's just there has to be a limit of what is said on video. Not out of legality reasons, but out of respect for myself, my family, and my friends, really. So I hope that is understood, that there will always be like a need for parts of my life to remain private, but I will always try to be as open with everybody as I possibly can. And I share a bit more inside the Discord server than I do on video, because that Discord server essentially started as my friends, and that's why I'm like, well, these people know, so I don't mind X, Y, and Z that have been added since then to be there. I honestly, that's a weird part of me, really, is like, well, this is not in a video. This is not circulating through potentially future employers seeing it. This isn't circulating through something that might, if I were to ever have a child, this isn't something my child will ever see. This isn't something that part of life would ever reach, And I think every YouTuber goes through that part where, like, this is where I draw the fucking line. And you see, even now, current achievement hunter being like, well, I don't wear it smells like cum in here, t-shirts out, because Michael doesn't want his fucking kids to see him in that. Or fucking Jeff will earmuff Millie when she's on video when they're talking about certain things. Just there is a line for every content creator, and I have my own, and that's one I'm going to continue to respect. Now, as for moving forward with the channel, obviously, like I said, Chainsaw Man, Chaos Gaming in some form, definitely going to be more of the avatar based versus me capturing footage with my Elgato or whatever other software I would use. Maybe when it comes back, there's obviously going to be a Netflix review for something, or an Amazon Prime Video review for something. The next big video for me will be Endgame. That'll be a fucking review, and that the cast for that video is definitely tentative. I know Red is going to see it. I have 2 tickets. What I use the other ticket for is, as a family member, is it a friend? That's all up in the air right now. Or if it's just going to be me and Red reviewing the fucking movie. Obviously, the door is open to any of the Control Chaos guest list to always come back to a video. Um, Obviously, the core three will always remain myself, Thurman, and Red, as at least for now. If natural growth occurs, natural growth occurs. There's definitely not going to be a force for anybody else to be added to the fucking team anymore. We've seen how well that works. And that's me saying it as politely as possible, but it seems like every time we try to add somebody to the fucking team, it never works out right as a permanent member. So yeah, there's that. Then obviously, right after that will probably be the next batch of chapters, so I'll just go right back into our normal rotation. Chaos Battle, that's Thurman and Red project that hopefully comes back. Gnome, I think's better. Might come back and might not. Podcasts will be a Twitch thing again. And definitely the next 2 months for me is, like I said, I got a new job. And that's why I have a stricter line than I usually do. I honestly, for the next 2 months, I'm just basically piling up my paychecks so I can continue my process to move out and back onto my own. Now that I'm clean and sober and definitely having a more healthy outlook on life and more friend focused and relationship focused, I want to have my own place again, and hopefully that expands into more of an independent way of my life existing, to the point where I can actually be happy and healthy in a spot that will be my home for the next 2-3 years while I essentially save up for a house and wherever life takes me from there. Now, what that means for the channel is the week I'm moving, I will be in nothing, obviously. But that won't be till around July, August, so that's ways down the line. And by that time, it would just still be one video. I might be able to film it while I'm in the back of a fucking U-Haul van. I might be able to film it while I'm unpacking. It's definitely going to just be essentially another one of the, well, Red and I are moving videos or weeks, so it might be a double review the next week. That's just the way things are going to be, because I want to focus on that, getting my shit there, unpacking, relaxing, because moving is fucking stressful, and that there being a time to decompress and set everything up and get the recording studio all set up, because I want every video that we record as a group to be the best quality possible. So the last time I did the math for me to move, for the security deposit, the first month's rent, and moving supplies, it was about $2,000. I make piss for money where I'm at right now. So it's about a $200-$300 check every week, roughly. Depending on how many hours I got. The first week I only worked 4 days. This week I'm only working 3. Because I took a mental health day. So yeah, that might be the next fucking 9 weeks I'm saving that money. But obviously with that, omitting for bills and shit. Now if I get the other job that I interviewed for while I was taking my mental health day, that's almost $15 an hour to almost $20 an hour, which is a fucking decent paycheck, a fucking great paycheck really, compared to what I've been making. And that would be a month and a half really of saving up, and then I just gotta wait for July to roll around, and then done. So yeah, that would be fantastic if I got that. So yeah, that's my next month and a half, 2 months of shit, and then by then it'll be definitely fucking a trip, really, a great fucking trip of getting my own place again for the first time in years and just enjoying life, man. Just fucking relaxing, having my own place, being able to have friends over without the drama of hearing my parents argue or having the drama of, well, shit, it's definitely not a good day. The dog is, chewing cords and eating everything in sight, and she might try to chew your shoes. Uh, oh, I love shitting on Akiza. I love that dog, but goddamn. That's a joke because she's chewed 3 of my fucking Switch chargers in the last week and a half. So yeah. It's surreal. That I've went from where I was before I took my hiatus to where I am now. So thank you for your patience and waiting on me to come back. Hopefully this almost 42-minute video helps you get back into the feel of what I am and who I am and where I've come from, lately, and definitely this is something I'll probably do maybe twice, every, month or two. I don't know. I might do it once a month. I might do it every 2 months. I might do it once a quarter. It just depends on the status of me, the status of the channel. I hope Red and Thurman do something similar to this on their personal channels because I feel it's a great way for the audience to connect with each of us individually, aside from, seeing our avatars, just post it up there. But, yeah, definitely, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, peace.